You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots. You know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events most of all. Thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. And I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by, but I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And I'm going to try and get the cameras all set up properly. Glad you could make it with us, Mr. Vartanian.
I apologize. I'm tardy. Ready to go to the principal's office?
We get to have some fun. Blake Vartanian is with us, Realty Pro 100. Jim Norton is with us, Realty Pro 100, and your humble correspondent right here. Let's see what we have to celebrate today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Now, I can only imagine with the two people that I have in here with me, where we're going to be heading on this one today. So today is National Screenwriters Day. Okay. I think we can deal with that one.
That's all right.
National Bird Day.
What's bird? Just bird in general?
Now, here's one that's just not going to go over very well. Now, having beaten anorexia, today's National Keto Day.
Yes.
So
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, we are.
Deserves an ouch.
Yeah, we're exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
get a steak.
no keto for me.
Steak for breakfast.
But now, when Josh just mentioned this, Jim started laughing. Now, I don't know. Oh, Mike's in the house. Come on in, Mike, join the party. So now, when Josh just mentioned this, we got a little bit of a chuckle. Mike's in the house. Come on out here. Let's say hello. Come on this side. Come on this side. Say hi. We got Mike Vartanian from Realty Pro 100.
This is like Pee-wee's Adventure House.
So apparently Mike heard that today is National Whipped Cream Day. So he came in to join us.
Most important day of all.
Most important day of all.
That's just
So
when we were younger, the most important day was National Get Out of School Day.
okay. Yeah, well, I think there's still a lot of people that are saying the same thing.
That was a lot of years ago.
Yeah, it was.
But there was only one room then, wasn't there? And
Ring the bell.
single teacher
Out on the prairie.
Yeah.
out on the prairie. Yeah, we have some fun.
5 miles uphill both ways.
Thanks for dropping in. It's always fun. Let's take a look and see what else is going on in the world. It's a party right here on Ron Siegel Radio. Although, if we're looking at the markets today, Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 94. NASDAQ is down 142.5 points. Ow! S&P 500 down 7. Oil up $1.26 a barrel. We're at $78.25 a barrel. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think about a year ago this time, I think oil was somewhere in the range of $40 a barrel. I'm just guessing here because if I were to look it up, it would take me more than 30 seconds. And I'm just looking right here. Okay, it was $50.83 a barrel 1 year ago today. $50.83. Now we're at $78.26. Now, yeah, that's what I was going to say is ouch. It's painful, especially if you are in the world of driving a car. Yes, we are in Southern California broadcasting live this morning. So we do have a car or two here in the state, formerly Golden State. So let's take a look and see. Do we want to know what the numbers are I give them to you every once in a while just because I want to make sure we've got a reality check, right, as to what the world is really doing. Of course, I guess we don't need a reality check. We have MSNBC offer that. So if we look at $3.29, not in California, that's the national average.
We take that.
Yeah.
I'll take it all day long.
303 a gallon. So our tremendous underwriter, Lori, she's in Louisiana.
That's
303
Louisiana.
a gallon. Now, Oklahoma, $2.90 a gallon in Oklahoma. Josh, you're at 383.4.
I'd still take that.
Yeah, my son got gas this morning in Anaheim Hills at $1.49. That was Taco Bell, but that's a different issue.
The comedy keeps rolling.
$4.66 a gallon of gasoline right here in California. $4.66. Now, I've been to Hawaii a couple times. They have a lot of oil. No, they don't have oil production there. They get it from Calizuela. $4.33 a gallon in Hawaii. $4.33.
Are we on winter
So
blend?
they ship it all the way over there and get it cheaper than we get it right in our own backyard.
Exactly.
Are we on winter blend?
I don't know who's
Right. Winter blend right now.
winter
Oh,
blend,
okay.
summer blend, somebody's blend.
We're on the
Yeah.
cheaper blend right now.
It's a
supposedly.
cheaper
Yeah, this is
Oh,
the cheaper blend.
it's
So
a cheaper-
that means we have to look forward to the
I thought
idea
it
that
was-
prices are
I
going to
thought
go
it
up
was
even
The article I
higher.
saw the other day said that they expect gas prices to be over $6 a gallon by Memorial Day.
And in Los Angeles, that means over $7 a gallon,
Right.
right? Because they like to tax even more than the rest of the state.
Mhm.
Moving right along. Let's see. I think we got a little buzz in my ear. No, not that kind of buzz. You guys stop that right now. I know it's here. Get rid of that one.
Receive your free information booklet with no obligation.
Where'd that come from? I guess we got some background in here. Okay, so
Has somebody got the Austin Hope out?
I wish. I'm looking for Austin Hope. I mean, I've offered him to come on the broadcast several times. But let's see.
Bring examples.
Fascinating. Did you see? I don't know if you saw this. Now, this is what we should have. Well, I guess California wouldn't fit. But this is being put on cars in Florida right now. Have you seen this one? Cars in Florida with a New York license plate. Someone's going around there. I think it's Fort Lauderdale area. They're putting a sign on the car that says, if you are one of those woke people, leave Florida. You'll be happier elsewhere, as will we. I thought that was great. Speaking of leaving, how about where are they leaving to? States with the biggest increases in population. Texas is getting a lot of people. 310,000 people have moved to Texas. Not all. I don't think they've counted the illegals yet. Wait. That's the undocumented individuals. Can't say illegals, but we do on Ron Siegel Radio. Florida has an increase of 211,000. Arizona, 98,000. North Carolina, almost 94,000. Georgia, 73,000. Gotta love some of these places that are getting the folks. Now, as I report to you on a regular basis, I love this chart because, well, it just tells it like it is. Because no matter what the government wants to tell you, people in this world, they tend to vote with their feet. So in California, we're losing $82.32 billion a year in adjusted gross income. Yeah, that's people with money spending money, right? They're earning money from their tax returns. That's an average number from 1992 to 2019. Latest numbers available. Where are they going to? Josh, they're coming to visit you. $18.4 billion leaves California and goes to Nevada. 13.8 leaves California going to Texas. 13.2 going to Arizona. 11.1 going to Oregon. 10.3 goes to Washington. Now, where do we get the people from? Send them back, please. New York, 8.4. Illinois, 5.8. New Jersey, 4.1. Am I seeing a trend here? Massachusetts, 3.1. Pennsylvania, 1.7. So that's where the people are coming from. That's where the people are going to. Amazing. And, how many of them are bringing Omicron with them? Oh, no, who cares? It's just, well, I shouldn't say that. Unbelievable. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, why waiting to sell your house could cost you a small fortune or a large one. How your student loan, your minimalism can help you save time and money. That's your Credit Matters segment. Reach me anytime. Our off-air number is 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Ask for Nikki. She is standing by. Dow Jones now up 113 points. NASDAQ is down 159 points. S&P 500 down 10.5. 10-year Treasury is up 1 basis point. Mortgage-backed securities down 19 basis points. All of that information is available on that super secret website. That'll be google.com. Why is all this happening? That's why you listen to Ron Siegel Radio. Stock and mortgage bonds both trading tough numbers based on a strong ADP employment report. Showed that there were 807,000 jobs created in December. And then we saw the JOLTS report yesterday. What was that? 10.5 million open jobs. Previous ADP report was revised lower from 534,000 to 500,000. Service sector led the way, adding 669,000 jobs, while goods producing sector added 138. Leisure and hospitality had the biggest gains with 246,000, followed by trade, transportation, and utilities with 138,000. Leisure and hospitality is the one I always look at because that's our bartenders and waiters and waitresses. I'm just throwing that out there. Chief economist for ADP, Nella Richardson, said, quote, December's job market strengthened as the fallout from the Delta variant faded and Omicron's impact had yet to be seen, unquote. So what does that mean for January if we're looking at Omicron now? And I know that the virus is under control if you're vaccinated. That's what the president told us yesterday, except for the million people that got COVID. I don't know how that happened. Of course, if I listen to the president, I might not find that answer either. I'd just throw that out there. So about 11 o'clock California time today, the Federal Reserve releases their minutes from their last meeting. So that always is enlightening if you're watching us or listening to us on the feed, the ABC News and Talk live broadcast in the evening. Well, we record live in the morning, so I don't have that information to share with you yet. Check us out on any of our socials or RonSiegelRadio.tv. You can check us out in the morning when we broadcast live and be part of the broadcast. 9 o'clock we record, so we're always here. If you make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and that way you can put your name in there and we'll know who we're talking to. Because I don't know who, this is Sally is watching us on YouTube this morning. Good morning. Welcome to the broadcast. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. But that's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. So let's chat with our guest this morning. I don't want to disappoint Jim Norton.
Welcome back.
For those of you that remember, Jim Arnold Horseshack Norton over here, a Realty Pro, Blake Vartanian, welcome. So Happy New Year.
Blake Vinny Barberino.
I'm not going to go there. You know, you're not in the office every day, Jim. His wife's here, so I'm not going to say a word about that. We might get in trouble. Happy New Year, guys. What's happening?
It's a beautiful day, you know.
Another day of paradise.
Another day in paradise out in the real estate world.
Exactly.
So you got a record, huh, Blake? That's number one in Orange?
Yeah, we're really thrilled. The team put together a banner year in 2021, and we passed 159 other offices in the marketplace to be ranked number one in sales.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's exciting, right? I mean, a lot of hard work.
It is a lot of hard work. And
we're not going to say anything about leadership.
No. No, in spite of me.
There we go.
In spite of I won't speak on behalf of the rest of the leadership team because they deserve the respect for their hard work.
Exactly.
But I think, the most fulfilling part of it is that we know ultimately that we're serving clients and customers in the way that we have envisioned it, which still has tremendous value. And we believe that the real estate professional has a significant role in the process of moving real estate from the seller to the buyer.
Yeah, when you think about that that kind of a ascension, right, it means a lot of families have been given some exciting guidance.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, and we get to work with great lenders like yourself and put together the best financing available, kind of streamline the process. And we have so many veteran level agents in our company who have worked in other organizations who have such high standards. I mean, I've known Jim basically my whole life, and I know.
Good or bad?
It depends on the moment. It could be both. Because if I'm sitting there telling the story, he knows I got to be 100% true because he'll call me out on any little variation, and so that's a good thing. And I appreciate being around so many people who are gifted and knowledgeable and who are willing to share and collaborate, and that includes with their clients, because a lot of people read things on the internet and think that that's getting advice.
Right.
And it's not really the same thing. If you sit down and have a great consultation and it doesn't cost you anything, I always say, why wouldn't you want to do it? Get another opinion from a professional who served in the industry for a period of time. And even the newest of people bring a tremendous perspective of their own life's contributions to real estate.
Well, one of the things I watch with you and your company is the concept, and it's something I believe is important, and a lot of people don't share it, because it doesn't take anything to get a real estate license. I mean, basically, if you can fog a mirror, you can get a real estate license. But you're dealing with a major transaction, and what I like is the idea, the concept of mentorship.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and it's not always when I walk around and watch and come visit, I see that sometimes it's the leadership team that's leading and mentoring. Sometimes it's just old people that are here in the office that are sharing with younger people, right? People that have been around a lot. So it's not just.
Oh, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, the younger people, I couldn't survive without them in terms of the social media, the speed of what they can do with these computers, the programming, the helpful. I mean,
I kid about that all the time, Jim, because I used to do computer consulting, right? Yeah. And this was about 20 years ago.
Yeah, Fortran.
Yeah, well, I wrote my first program in Fortran 4, right? It was to play craps against the computer. It was about 800 cards. Now, Josh is our guru here in marketing. I don't know, Josh, have you ever even seen a deck of computer cards, IBM cards, punch cards? He's looking at me like, what's that? He's in the control room looking at me like, what the heck is he talking about this time?
Ron, I spent all semester programming one box.
Right.
That I think it said something like, I'm going to graduate in whatever in December. And that was all it said.
And then you dropped it.
And it's, yeah, well, I've heard those stories, but,
Well, now we can harass people. The beauty of the way we do in live broadcast, we can harass people online here because Joe Ingram's with us.
He knows that.
Sometimes when we don't lock the door quick enough, we've got Joe here. And look at his comment here. I heard gifted and talented.
So I came in.
I was talking about others.
Sorry, Joe. I mean,
Well, I don't mean from him. I'm talking about from me.
See, Blake doesn't even know you as well as I do, and he said that. So that's pretty good right there. A lot of people in one op. Joe, I mean, I've lost at least 3 ounces. So, there's plenty of room in the office right here.
How much snow is he in right now? Ask him that.
How much snow is he in?
Is he up in Coeur d'Alene?
No, that's
Todd.
Todd.
Oh, okay, I can make it up.
Yeah, exactly. Another one, right? Another one of the Ron Siegel radio favorites.
Yeah.
But something it is fun being able to. One of the things I've said that the realtors have a big advantage over people that are in the market. And one of the advantages that the realtor has is, in my opinion, the greatest thing you get to do in our world is giving a first-time home buyer their first set of keys.
Oh, it just melts me to even think about it.
Right?
That's
cool.
That's the exact vision I started with, in 1981. So,
Especially
yeah.
because usually they came to you with the idea that they would never own a home. They were in the impression that they were going to rent the rest of their lives, and they're so excited that you could figure out a way to get them in a home. And it's like that's probably one of the better. That's one of the upsides.
Yeah.
Anything we need to do?
No, he's got feedback.
Gotta love it when these mics go crazy. I can't even hear me right now, but that's okay.
Oh, we hear you.
No, you guys hear me. I don't know if Josh hears me, being that I got my mic off, but that's a whole different story. But hey, some.
You want my?
No, there we go. Maybe we remember a little better now until I hit that thing. So those of you that are watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or any of our socials, you don't see the control room where Josh is sitting there, and when you hear that crackling, he's got that into his headset, and it's amplified, so it's a lot of fun when that crackling goes on. But the bottom line, it is. We get back to what we were talking about. Just the fun of giving somebody in a new year, and something, Jim, you hit it right on the head. Right? Is I've consulted with so many people, and we just talked about this yesterday when we did the day before I think we did a workshop on that you really don't need 20% down to buy a house. And how many people have come to you, both of you guys, over your careers? And I know you're not going to have a count for me, but over your careers, and they said, "Well, I'm thinking about buying a house sometime in the next 5 or 10 years." And you do a consultation with them, and they're able to buy right then and there.
They're able to buy,
right? Because they got bad guidance from somebody, or they thought they had to wait for $100,000 down, and they only needed $5,000 or $6,000 down. How many people does that happen with?
more than you think. But the part of it is that gets you is that if you, let's say you're not the agent that helps them get to that house, and you run into them a year later and they're not excited about it. Well, they went to an agent just went through the MLS, put them to something that fit, square peg type thing. And then they're not excited. It's like, oh, that's not the dream home, that I wanted. And it's like, well, did you guys talk about this? Did you talk about that? And it's like, oh no, why? And it's like, you got to work with these people. They have ideas, they have thoughts. You've got to help bring that out and then find a product that works for them. It might even be, I spent the day before New Year's with a couple out of Riverside. They got a call and they're actually contemplating building a house. And where they're thinking of building the house is on top of a hill in Riverside out between Moreno Valley and Redlands, right? So they're already aware that they're going to challenge they're going to be on propane, septic, solar power,
wow.
All these things. And they were so excited though, because, okay, they wanted to tackle that. And
wow.
I'm like, really? Okay, let's start going down the list. Let's start finding out what it's going to take, because you have to have on that case, budget is everything. Mm-hmm. And of course there are already houses out there, but if you look at the houses that are out there, usually it's by established couples that know something about construction, maybe built a house before.
So we got a fascinating comment here, and this one goes, these guys are probably will understand this one, Joe. It's good being an agent because you can go into people's houses with a code. Now you guys probably go back to the day when you had to use a hammer and tools to get in through the window, right? Just throw that out
You gotta have a
there.
locksmith
I've
drill a
always,
lock.
I've always said, anytime you want to check out some of the nicest homes in your, in the community, is you have a license that allows you to enter and preview it. And,
Right.
and as long as you're there for a noble purpose, you might be there to compare it to something that you think is you're going to
Checking
get a
out the
listing on
competition.
down the road. Yeah.
Need to be as invested in their goals and dreams as they are.
Yeah.
Yes, Joe does come up with some inspiring messages every once in a while.
I like that
That's a
last
good
one
one.
especially.
Yeah.
That was
That's a good
really
one.
good.
Good
That was
job.
really good.
Joe, you finally did it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, why waiting to sell your house could cost you a small fortune, and how minimalism can help you save time and money, all that and more. You can reach me anytime or off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio.
No, it's perfect.
Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner
I didn't
experiencing
even say anything
divorce?
about
Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
No, I got about a 30.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Now I really understand, Joe. I see that. I see his note. Okay. Netta took his phone, and that's why we got something brilliant. That makes sense, right? I'm not going to go anywhere near that one. Anything I say is only going to cause trouble from there on. Why waiting to sell your house could cost you a small fortune? That is the subject of the real-time real estate segment, again brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Many homeowners who plan to sell in 2022 may think the wise thing to do is wait for the spring buying market, since historically about 40% of home sales occur between April and July. However, this year is expected to be much different than the norm. Here are 5 reasons to list your house now rather than waiting until the spring. Number 1, buyers are looking right now and they're ready to purchase. The Showing Time Showing Index report, data from more than 6 million property showings scheduled across the country each month. In other words, it's a gauge of how many buyers are out looking at homes at the current time. The latest index, which covers November showings, reveals that buyers are still very active in the market, comparing this November's numbers to previous years. And if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart that shows the showings. Now, do we want to look at last year, 156.3? I don't know. That's kind of a weird, well, last year being 2020. Or we look at 2021, 175.7. Now compare that to 2019, 107.2. Those are November showings, right? So the last 2021, 2020 were significantly more than 2017, 18, and 19. Interesting, okay? And that's in a pandemic when nobody wants to go out. I don't know, maybe we'll talk to the guys in a minute about this one, but maybe it's because you had to make an appointment to go see something. I don't know. Comparing the index to previous Novembers, let's take a look at pending sales beat pre-pandemic numbers. So pending sales for November, 2017, 109.6, 2018, 101, 2019, 108, 2020, 125.8, 122.4 in 2021. The takeaway, there are purchasers in the market and they're ready and willing to buy. Number two, other sellers plan to list earlier this year. The law of supply and demand tells us that if you want the best price possible and to negotiate your ideal contract terms, put your house on the market when there's strong demand, less competition. Newly constructed homes will be your competition in the spring is number three. Number four, there will never be a better time to move up. Number five, it may be time for you to make a change. Consider why you're thinking of selling in the first place and determine whether it's worth waiting. Is waiting more important than being closer to your loved ones now? Bottom line, it's all about you, right? What are your goals? What are your objectives? Is the headset agent or the headset lender asking those questions? Right? The professional agent, the professional lender are asking you about you. Just my thought. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home. Continuing our conversation, Blake Vartanian, Jim Norton, Realty Pro 100 are in the house. And as always, when the gentlemen come, when the guys come in, we just have a free-flowing conversation, and we never know what direction it's heading in. So do you think there are more people out looking at property now than pre-pandemic, or is it just an issue that you have to make an appointment and you don't have a choice? You have to go to showing time.
No, I think there's more people out looking because half the time I've looked at showing time, it's disabled because of so
too many people going there, so
yeah, exactly. They're stacking up and they've got to keep them apart and everything. So they ask that you call the agent. At least that's what I seem to see. But so I think more people are making appointments, definitely. But I think also more people are using technology. They're doing a drive-by or they're doing a Google buy. I mean, you can pretty much sit at your desk and see half the world.
Yeah, you can see a lot, but I think that's a big issue.
So curb appeal, what is that?
How do you know?
Curb appeal.
How do you know if the picture's been doctored?
You don't. You got to go.
Right,
I mean, you really honestly wouldn't put an offer. I would be surprised if you put an offer in unless you know the property. I wouldn't recommend putting an offer in without going to physically see the house. I mean.
So are people calling you to see it, or when in the process is the professional realtor getting the telephone call to engage?
So this is a great question. If I could just jump in for a second.
Go ahead.
Yesterday, I was doing a phone outreach to top agents and other companies. And I was engaged in a conversation with one who told me about his $1.5 million listing that he put in coming soon into the MLS. It auto-populated throughout all of the search sites. And he already had 18 inquiries direct to him as the listing agent, with 2 offers, both of them above what would be the asking price when the house comes on the market. And the seller immediately pivoted and said, I want another $50,000 because I know if I can get that before it comes on the market, I can only imagine what it'll be when it comes on the market. And he said, well, you don't always know that because sometimes the best offer you get is the first offer you get, and sometimes it's not. You just have to.
I was going to ask you
have to wait and see. We never know what someone else is going to do.
Yeah. So what do you? I mean, explain what that means, Blake, because you did some stuff that in a lot of instances anybody in the industry would understand.
Right.
So when someone says when it goes into the multiple listing service is coming soon, what does that mean? Does that mean that? I mean, obviously, I understand.
Technically, we're not allowed to market it. We just have to register it with the MLS that we have taken this listing, and that at some future date it will be coming on the market. And what agents will do is put on the sign writer out in front of the house, oftentimes coming soon, and they use it as a means to collect interested parties and to notify other agents that listing will be on the market at some point in the near future. We just don't always know exactly when.
So even though it's got that,
like if you're driving by, it doesn't say, it'll be coming on the market this Friday. You have to do a little more research.
But even though it has that designation, somebody could still make an offer.
You can make an offer on anyone's home at any time if you want to.
Okay.
So there's no law prohibiting it. So we make offers for investors often on properties that are not currently on the market. Because
we'll go back up on that one, Blake. Because so if you can make offers on properties that are not on the market.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a buyer that's out there and I want to buy a piece of property or a home, I might be able to call you and say, hey, Blake, hey, Jim, I'm looking in this neighborhood. I don't see any signs, but what do you know?
Exactly.
Absolutely. And would you be willing to write an offer? In my case, I would say yes, most likely, if they're willing to write a strong offer on a home that is not currently on the market, because I would go to, either go to the door, call the people and say, I have an unsolicited offer on your property. Can I at least show you the offer? They might say, well, we're not interested in moving. I understand that. But some people might say, we are interested in moving and we're thinking about selling in the next 30, 60, 90 days.
Most people will want to see the offer.
Yeah.
They really do. It doesn't mean
I don't want to move, but I want to see.
But I want to see. Exactly. I don't know. I want,
Yeah.
and then in some cases, it's the conversation's over rapidly. In some cases, it comes back around. But
might get somebody thinking.
Exactly.
I was thinking about moving.
We've talked about it.
We've talked about it.
Right.
So if you're the bottom line there is if you're looking at a neighborhood that you really want to live in, you might call one of the guys here and say, hey, do you know something? Because how far in advance do you start hearing from a consumer that's thinking about selling their house? Before even you get that coming soon, are they talking to you guys saying, hey, or your agent saying, I'm thinking about this. What are the options? What are the getting the property ready? Do I need to paint? Do I need to whatever?
Right. Well, that's generally what happens in MLS in this particular case is that there's so much of that already going on. They made a rule change last year. They brought in the coming soon. It wasn't coming there. There's rules to posting the signs for coming soon, but it was happening in the market anyways, because somebody would call you and say, we'd like to look at listing our house. And it's like, you do the walkthrough and you guys really should paint and let's move some of the furniture out. And so, so they can imagine how their furniture would look. Let's prep the house so the curb appeal looks good. Let's get it ready for sale. And that could take, just weeks to a couple of months, depending on what it is. And then this also though helps them understand the getting a better price, where your price point's going to be, because a lot of people have, certain apps have estimates. I think every app has these estimates, and they're
are generally not accurate estimates, right?
Exactly, they're generally not accurate.
Close. Yeah.
So this gives you a better idea. Put your feet back down on the ground, because you look at those things, and some of them have a 2-bedroom house and a 4-bedroom house, and the 2-bedroom's worth more than the 4-bedroom, but you don't understand why, because there's no explanation.
Well, last summer I was sitting in front. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
So I was sitting in front of a couple that was living in Woodbridge in Irvine, and they had contacted our office because they wanted to use our escrow. And I said, we only can escrow as a broker escrow. We can only do the escrows for the transactions that we're involved in that with our firm. So they came. I said, but why don't you come in and let's talk about it? So they came in. And I asked them, I said, okay, you're selling this directly to the buyer without any representation. Are you sure that's in your best interest? And they said, what does that mean? And I said, well, I'm looking at the offer, and to me, the offer seems a little on the low side. But to you, it seems high because you've been out of area and you haven't watched what's happened in the marketplace because you've actually been living out of the country.
I said they're living in North Dakota, trying to figure out what the pricing is in California.
Right, and even though they'd owned their property for a long time, they hadn't lived in it in probably 15 years.
Wow. Okay.
So I said, if you have equity there, how important is it that you keep the equity versus giving it to the other party? Because one of you is going to end up with that equity if the home has a value.
Right.
And if you don't get the full value,
someone's getting the equity. It's got to. I want it. Well,
Yeah.
unless I'm just giving it to my kids or a relative. Yeah. So that again, that's the idea of getting that professional guidance. And if you want, we can give you a copy of our seller's guide, home sellers. It's free. Text RSR HSG to 795, or just HSG to 79564, or you can go to rsrhsg.com. and get a copy of that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, think I'm just going to chat with the guys, Josh. We're going to get rid of the Your Credit Matters, and we'll give them the tout, and we won't give them the story. We'll do that next week maybe. So reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. At 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today that we are not going to give a story. We're just going to tell you that if you've got issues with your credit, just give a call to our team, mysocallender.com, mysocallender.com. We can look at that credit. We can talk to you. Either we know how to correct it, or our friend Jeff Sipes at Blue Water Credit does a great job for the listeners of Ron Siegel Radio. Getting back to our conversation, Blake Vartanian and Jim Norton, Realty Pro 100, are in the house. So if you missed our last segment, shame on you. But you can get the replay on ronsiegelradio.com in the archives. Josh gets those put up usually sometime around 6 in the evening is when the replays are posted. They do a great job of turning these around for you so you can get all this great information. But we were listening and learning from Blake Vartanian about a story. I love it. Story time with Blake.
Story time.
That's just to give you a little recap of where we were when we left, is that a consumer called Blake's office and wanted to know about their escrow company helping them, which they can only do if it's a client. It's based on the various rules that they abide by or have to follow. And the rules, the contract was a little favorable to the buyer. Should we put it that way? Is it according to the expertise of the agents that were involved? So take it from there, Blake. What happened after they had this conversation? Say, who's going to get the equity? You want to give it away or you want to keep it?
Yeah. So we went through the idea of putting it on the market and seeing what the market would fetch. We also showed them what some of the online estimates were, as well as our own comp work. And they saw that there was substantial equity that they were leaving on the table. So they agreed to put the house on the market. We got the property listed, and it came on. We had multiple offers. And then the one thing that did happen, which caught us by surprise, was the unit 2 doors down, which was fully renovated, and theirs was not fully renovated. It hadn't been touched at all. Actually closed at less than the pending price that we had. Okay. And so the buyer, along with some of the repairs,
let's go back up a second because I'm a simple guy.
Yeah.
So we're not going to give out any real numbers, but just for instance, so you had an offer, say it's 700, and something close, and you're in contract.
It's closer to $1 million, but yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say $1 million, and you're in contract, and something down the street closed it.
Yeah, it closed it, posted it around 960.
Okay.
And so the buyers, of course,
buyer might get a little nervous.
Yeah, wanted to renegotiate the deal. And we saw the value as still being that, we didn't know all the circumstances of that transaction. Was it a closely held transaction?
Right.
Did it go from someone who knew someone? Did they just take out the real estate commissions? And what were the circumstances?
Any concessions?
Any concessions? We didn't.
That's not posted.
Yeah, so we didn't know. We don't know all the back end stuff. So we we discovered that with the property that there were some repairs that needed to be done, and the seller agreed to do some and told the buyer that they would be responsible for others if they wanted to go through with the transaction, but that if they didn't want the property, they were free to buy other property that was on the market in the neighborhood. It wasn't that there wasn't other property available. And, the seller, I felt, was being more than fair and positioned themselves with the buyer on what they were willing to do and not willing to do. And the buyer agreed to the terms, closed the deal. And the seller was so happy with the outcome of the transaction, they actually sat across the table from me in our conference room and said, I want to write your company a bonus check. And I said, I've been doing this for 4 decades. You're probably one of 3 people who's ever said that to me, despite people telling us we've done a great job or giving us a thank you card or maybe movie tickets, or we do the same back. I said, it's rare. That's a really rare thing. You don't have to do that. And they said, no, honestly, we feel like we have to do that because you really impacted our lives. And I realize it's a self-serving story, but it's true. And it's and they wrote us a wonderful testimonial. And because we took them from a place of lack of knowledge to full knowledge, protected their interest, and got their transaction closed.
So the beauty of chatting with Blake is we got about 6 minutes there of a story,
right?
And we got the key point at the very last sentence.
Exactly.
The beauty of working with somebody that really knows what they're doing can really impact your whole life, right? Because I had one right at the end of the year, Blake, that was very similar. Is that and it was pretty close to the same amount of money. It was I think it was $800,000 or $900,000 purchase, something like that. It doesn't matter. But they found there was a significant problem with the pool. $40,000 worth.
Ooh, that's a lot,
right? So that's significant, regardless of the transaction size. And because of having professional agents, the parties were able to get together and make it work. Right? If you're using a headset agent, right? They don't care. They go on to the next one. They're not vested or invested in the families that they're working with.
They might not have even seen the property. You gotta be.
That's a good point.
Right.
It's a computer app, and it's very good for what it does. But some of these apps where they say they'll take care of the transaction, I don't know how they're invested in that, because you've got to get up and see this property. You've got to understand how to interpret the inspection data. You have to get up and make sure you work with your client, especially on the financing data. I mean, there's just so many moving parts of a purchase so that it goes smooth.
I think, Jim, tell me what your thoughts are. My belief is that the visualizing the property, the photos of the property, that's maybe 1 or 2% of a transaction. I mean, that's really, really minimal.
That's what gets you interested in the property. When you're flipping through pictures, you go, oh, the curb appeal looks great on that. Or, depending on your level of sophistication, you might be able to flip through pictures and go, oh, I see potential in that.
Right.
For what I want. But really what you're looking for is your agent to guide you to where you've given them the criteria. I would like that. I'd like 4-bedroom, 2,100 square feet. We would like these features. Okay, well, you had one neighborhood in mind, but there might be 10 neighborhoods that fit that bill.
There you go. Yeah, you might not even know.
An app won't tell you that. It won't guide you that way.
I have a lot of apps that tell me where to go.
Well, once you know where you're going, you can put it in your.
That's a different conversation.
Of course, I'm married too, so I'm always told where to go.
Ron needs a lot of directions.
Yeah, I got a great team. They're always helping me with that part of it too.
Yeah.
Right. So, but something. The bottom line is that there are. Wow, camera got out of whack here a little bit. But the bottom line is, I really look at it that what I'm recommending as a consumer advocate is, your agent is the one that's going to help you get into the contract and close the contract or out of the contract. Right? As far as driving the neighborhood, I don't need an agent for that. I don't need an agent to show me the pictures that are online. In some instances, I need an agent to get in the door. Right? Sometimes the door's open so I can walk in. Usually they'll kick me right out, but that's a different story again, right? But what the agent makes money on, in my opinion, is first off the years of experience that they bring to the transaction. That fair?
The negotiation and the representation.
And then getting that contract signed. So I hear these goofy people online saying, well, I'm going to do it for nothing, or I'm going to do it for a minimal flat fee, or some of these stupid other things, stupid in my opinion. These other dumb things, right? Are you getting what you pay for?
That's
right. I can go to Walmart and get a really, really a shirt that does a good job of covering my oversized body.
Yeah.
Right. But I got to go, or I probably go to Nordstrom, or my wife does, or Saks, or somewhere else if I want a quality product. Now, if I'm dealing with $1 million,
you're going to want.
Do I want Walmart? Do I want quality?
You want quality.
Right. I mean, do I want the Walmart agent? I mean, they might be good for saying, "Hello, Mr. Vartanian, how are you today?" Right.
Yeah.
But beyond, and they're fine people. I don't have anything against them. They got a job.
Well, you're back to the thing. Circles always in my mind every time we talk. Right here, you have.
You're saying I go in circles, I think is what he just said.
I know. We got 40, we're probably 110, 120 years of experience.
You guys are way older than me.
I know we are. So maybe a 90. And I don't know, somewhere close to 10,000 homes closed between the three of us, at least. I wouldn't even be able to know how to count because they've closed in different ways. But all that experience is here to help you get what you want to do. We're not sitting here going, oh, let's count some money, let's do this. No, we want to help you get to that. Something will happen.
Do you care if you sell the house on Pine Street or Eucalyptus Street?
I do.
Okay.
I do, because you know why? Because I want to make sure that house is the house for somebody that person.
And that's
wants.
kind of, I think we're saying the same thing. I was going to say, I don't care.
What I'm saying with the three of us here, that much experience, you're back to that home board, the home board of directors for you.
Right.
Why would you not take advantage of the three of us helping you? We're not here to compete against each other. We're here to make your success the best it can be and be part of because we want to go to the next home with you. And the next home.
I mean, you're not able to retire off of one transaction.
No, you're not going to retire off of one transaction. But
right, and a lot of people don't think that way.
No.
Right. So there are those agents out there that are strictly transactional. Right. They don't care about anything beyond that one transaction. They can't see tomorrow because they're looking at it saying, you know something, I got to feed the family today. And then there's the agent that's out there, or the individual that's out there saying, you know something, it's not about today. If we don't have the right house for you today, maybe they'll come on the market next week, next month, next year, whenever that is. But if you've been doing it for 40 years and 70 years and 10 years, right? It doesn't.
Where did the time go?
It doesn't matter, right? That's the bottom line. If you want some great counsel, great guidance, give me a call at 800-306-1990. Be happy to put you in touch with the guys here at Realty Pro 100. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.